Foundation Course Kabbalah, Part 2, Lesson 24, Rabbi Michael-ben-Pesach, Portnaar. There is no ready-made method in the world for students who do not read Hebrew, so we stumble and the lessons are not that organized, but it doesn't matter. I will bring you to experiencing the spiritual. That is important. Step by step we will make progress. I felt like something was missing, and now I want to make a drawing from right to left. In the spiritual, everything goes from right to left. Therefore, the Hebrew language is also written from right to left. A drawing from the beginning of creation, the first shining of the light, up to the final goal of 6,000 years, and also up to 10,000 years. Then we have one big drawing, a schedule of all spiritual worlds and spiritual processes. We have to remind ourselves that behind the drawing is the process we have to experience. Try not to paint a picture in your head. Pay attention to that. We have learned the name of the eternal Creator, that is Havaya in Hebrew. Everything consists of that name. In fact, only this name exists. Even if you don't feel it yet, that's okay. It is already somewhere in you. When I started, I also experienced nothing. Gradually, you will experience the qualities of these 4 letters of the eternal name. Everything consists of that name, and that is Chokhmah, Bina, Ze'ah, and Malchut. Which qualities can we give extra? Chokhmah is Yud, and Bina is the first Hey. Ze'ah is Vav, and Malchut is the second Hey. Malchut and the correction always goes from Malchut to Chokhmah. When we say the 4-letter name, we do have to do with high and low. We are in our worlds. What does that mean, worlds? First, there are endless sfirot, and then comes man. When a person corrects himself, he turns to Malchut de Malchut, to the first Hey. When he has corrected Hey, he goes to Vav, and from there to the second Hey, and then to the Yud. The tail is Keter, and this is the little tail is Keter, and this is not a letter. We only see the 4 letters because the manifestation of the one creative force is 4 letters. What is manifestation? Light. When the light thickens and can be felt, that means a manifestation. When the light has stopped somewhere, that is beginning of the manifestation. When the light is somewhere in the Kli, then you can experience it. That is the manifestation of the light. A person that strives for good always goes upwards via Malchut. But what is Malchut? How can we see what it is, that Malchut? The prescriptions are given to us so that we can experience the Malchut. In Hebrew, prescriptions are called mitzvot. The mitzvot equals plural, and mitzvah is singular. Prescriptions are given in the Torah to bring our selfish wishes that exactly match with the spiritual, to bring them in conformity. When you fulfill a prescription, you reach a certain conformity according to quality. Malchut, or the last Hey of the name Havaya, is prescription mitzvah. Then we know wherefore the prescriptions have been given. And this we have in the world Asiyah. Asiyah means to do. The world of to do with hand and feet. That is also in conformity with the prescriptions, and you have to do that as well. Both within and on the outside have to be in conformity. You can't say, I will do this within, but on the outside I can do whatever I want. Learn the letters every day so they won't be like hieroglyphs to you. First, we have to do prescriptions to bring ourselves in conformity with the Hey. Ze'ah is Torah. Torah has been given to us from above. The strength of Ze'ah is called Vav, and has been given from above. When we study, that it will give us. Therein is also the manifestation of the eternal strength of God in His quality of Vav. Torah corresponds with 613 prescriptions. The Torah in itself is a conglomerate of and includes 613 prescriptions, but it is only the prescriptions. When we look at Torah as a codex of only prescriptions, the laws, then we fall short, because that is the letter Hey. In the Hey are the prescriptions. In Torah, of course, are the prescriptions. We have said that Hey is feminine, is Malchut. Vav is Ze'ah, Zeir Anpin, is male, and gives as it were to Hey, all these prescriptions. Can you see how we grow? A Jewish child is taught by his father how to do the mitzvot from his earliest youth, but like a game, playful. From the age of 13 years, he is obliged to do them from the earthly tribunal. From the age of 20 years, he is obliged to do them also for the heavenly tribunal. Everything corresponds to the laws of the universe. It is not simple, and even for people with a Jewish background, all this is incomprehensible. Imagine how difficult it is for non-Jewish people. It is very difficult because many links are missing. Although none of my words has to do with Judaism or religion, it is an additional difficulty in the transfer of the information. I will translate the Torah for you because it is important to have a good translation. For instance, what is Egypt? It is a country, and that gives us directly something material. The Hebrew word for Egypt is Mitzrayim, and I will use this word in the Dutch translation as well. This way it will be clear to you when the word Egypt is used, it means a story. But Torah is not a story, and they made a story of it. The translation has also been turned into a story, like the Greek epos. There is also a Jewish epos, and that is what has been made of Torah. Jews were in Egypt. No, Jews were in Mitzrayim. You will learn the Hebrew word Mitzrayim so you can see the strengths and what was unpleasant for the Jews in Mitzrayim. And for example, the Hebrew name for Syria is Tsuriya. And those two words, Tsuriya and Mitzrayim, are highly related to each other. We will work with these terms, letters, and strengths. In Mitzrayim, we can already see what strengths are present. The word Egypt is of no use to us. How can we know what it was like then? Are we historians? Does it help to know what it was like in Egypt? It was a total different Egypt than nowadays. Other peoples, other Egyptians. We will see the strengths of the people back then. We do not speak of the nature of the people themselves, but both the strengths the people of Israel had to deal with. That is the Torah which I try to convey to you. It is useful to learn to read Hebrew. It is not difficult. Do this shortly every day, and you'll get a feeling for the letters and strengths. That is Torah, which is effective. We learn like the child. Step by step, you need to be serious. Don't play act. We learn Kabbalah because we want something special. It's my life and very dear to me. I want to get the most out of it. No religion and tradition will help. It was all necessary, but not anymore. You have to work on yourself always, on your own personal development. If you do so, you also help all other souls. When you learn Kabbalah, you also help to correct other souls, souls that have already passed away. We will learn the living Torah. When you learn Torah and you feel at ease and controlled, that is not Torah. Torah is fire. Torah is the strength of the Creator, and not a word is about the material, but we are material. When we learn Torah, we will go through our armor, through all the material in ourselves. The fire and flames of the eternal strength will burn all our resistance, all your material dependence of your little pathetic self. That is Torah. The Torah that we will learn will bring us to the spiritual. Not one word about our world. When we learn Torah, it is like fire. We will be purified, and then we will come to the Bina, and the Bina is Yira, awe. Only then we learn what awe is, because we are still of matter. We have a material and a divine side in ourselves. Whenever we experience that in Asiyah or Yetzirah or in any place, it will be experienced as awe. Bina is already a divine quality of to give. We will experience that as awe. Can you see how big and high the quality of awe is? We do not know what awe is. We have awe for people. What will the neighbors say, or what will my boss think? If we had awe for the spiritual like that, where our life depends on, then we would learn what real awe is. That is real awe. Only after doing the prescriptions with hand and feet and heart you come to Torah. Torah is not only prescriptions. That is just a part of it. In Torah are interwoven all the strengths that paint the whole structure of the eternal. When you read Torah and you experience Torah then the letters will make notches on your soul, just like the notches on the stone tablets. Moses received the first stone tablets. When he brought them downwards, Avaya said, "Go downwards. Your people who you have brought from Egypt have already gone corrupt." They had already started building the golden calf. We will learn what all that means. We will be amazed of what Torah is. And not a word is physical. For instance, Abraham went there and there. He will unlearn to read, to see Torah like a story, a physical story. Even the Jewish people think that it is a physical. Absolutely not. In our time, we are mature enough to learn Torah adequately. We will also see that in the New Testament, not a word is new. Absolutely not one word is new. The Acts of the Apostles are new. They went here, they went there, did certain deeds, that is new. But everything that the prophet has said is in the Torah. Everything. All comes from the Torah. He has not told a word that was new. The prophet himself said, "I tell everything that is written in Torah, and Torah will always exist." The only thing that is important is that we do not see it as something material. The Torah was not written for that. In the world Asiyah, you can already understand a little, and that is the conformity with the world Yetzirah, the Torah. The giving of the Torah is already Yetzirah, and therefore both in the spiritual and among the countries, the land Israel is also Yetzirah. Bina is already the world Bria, and is very high. Chochmah is the letter Yud, and that's the reverse of Ah, and called Ahava, love. Can you see what love is? We think that we know what love is, but we don't. Experiencing love, physical, is not love. Chochmah, love, corresponds to the world Atzilut. Every moment when we aim for the spiritual, we receive a gleam from Atzilut. Somebody who comes to Atzilut through his efforts, acts, and strengths is called the Son of God, the Son of Avaya. All those four letters. He rises up and contains in his inner self the name Avaya. Within, he experiences this name completely. Avaya is his inner self, and the name Avaya is the 10 Sifirot. The tip or tail is Keter, Yud is Chochmah, Hey is Bina, Vav is Ze'ah, and the second Hey is Malchut. Ze'ah contains 6 Sfirot that are all of the same nature, and they correspond with the Torah. They are Chesed, Gebra, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. When we have 10 Sfirot and the names of the Creator, there is a clear correlation. The name of the Creator exists in itself in Ein Sof, but when it is manifested to a creature, when the creature experiences him, then it is the four-letter name. It is being experienced within the Kilim, then it is Avaya. When it is not being experienced, it is an Ein Sof. Everything that is not being experienced is like Ein Sof, as light on itself. It cannot be studied. Therefore, nothing can be said about an image of God if we don't experience him. It is absolutely useless to learn theology in order to experience the divine. No theologian ever has experienced God. That is absolutely impossible. He wants to talk about God, but to experience him is something different. We learned that we absolutely cannot speak about him if he's not within you, but he is within you. If we structure ourselves in everything that we do, then we will experience him. Chochmah is light of the creation that comes within us. Bina is the quality of to give, and is light of correction, and comes therein. We can't receive the light of the creation directly. Bina, roughness, it's before it goes further to Ze'ah and Malchut. We call Ze'ah already Olam, world. Why is that? Ze'ah has already 6 in itself. Chochmah is like a ray. There has to come a creation with 6 dimensions. As we have in our world, we also have those 6 dimensions: high, low, left, right, inside, outside, or front and behind. That corresponds with Ze'ah. We received all directing from Ze'ah, from the structure of Ze'ah in the world Atzilut. From Atzilut, all directing comes to us. When we learn Torah, Kabbalah, we learn primarily about Ze'ah and connected to him the Malchut, the whole Torah of Moses. Everything that Avaya told Moses was the emergence and the development of Ze'ah. It has nothing to do with what has been told about Torah and how Torah has been learned thousands of years throughout history. All that has been told to us is childish. Our world is a reflection, as it were, of the spiritual. Chokhmah has no separation between male and female. Everything is still in potency. It has not been separated yet. Therefore, when a woman learns Kabbalah and climbs upwards, she can look at males, and it does nothing to her. She has to come to unity with her own male side, because when we come to Chokhmah, we receive the light of salvation. Chokhmah is thoughts of creation, and there is no duality. So when we climb upwards, we will experience our own soul at the level of Chokhmah and still be here on earth in duality. That is experiencing the eternal, and slowly we will come through all these layers. First we come from Malchut to Ze'ah. Malchut has absolutely nothing of itself. She receives everything from Ze'ah. That's all gravity. Very heavy. From Malchut we go to Ze'ah, and we get 6 dimensions, above, below, etc. There we experience space in ourselves. Malchut is like a point in our heart of something that is good. It is just like someone that is being sucked into the swamp and tries to save himself at any twig that he can reach. The same is with Malchut. The Malchut has only to experience that. When you strive for the higher, you feel that point where you have connected with Ze'ah. Whether you are male or female is not important. We have to connect ourselves with the Malchut. When we make ourselves small within in order to unite with the higher, then we are like that small point. Slowly we will grow to Ze'ah, and we will obtain 6 different experiences: left, right, above, below, front, and back. We will grow, our spiritual perception will grow, and we come to Bina, and gradually we will also come to Chokhmah. Chokhmah has no male or female in itself, not yet. Of course, he has everything in itself, just like everything comes from Keter. Everything is in potential, in the core of Keter, but it is not yet developed or not yet unfold. Chokhmah also has no difference between right and left in itself. It is not a Kli, but the Bina already has male and female, and has the spatial experience, and is more material than Chokhmah. Ze'ah has all sides, and one can comprehend all that is in the universe. Actually, the universe is Ze'ah, the Olam. Only then we come to love. We rise upwards to love. What is love? When you experience all 10 or 5 Sfirot within yourself, or the name Avaya, we speak of Sfirot, or the names of the Creator. The system of Sfirot is consistent with Kabbalists who have tendency to the left. For example, B'nai Baruch. They make a lot of drawings, and that is very visual. I tend to speak from the names of the Creator, but in principle it is exactly the same. When we connect the Sfirot to the names of the Creator, we have the whole Torah. Every word in the Torah, also the villains that are mentioned, are the names of the Creator. All the names are strengths of Avaya. 10 Sfirot that always correspond with the names of the Creator. That is the stone of offense. It was very difficult for me. They were words without content, but now we start to sense it. There are different varieties, different strengths also in the words of the Torah. We will see concealments and revelations of the name Avaya, the principle that is important. First I said I didn't want to make a drawing, but now I feel that something is missing and I want to make a drawing. But it is very important that we are not depending on drawings. Relevant are the names of the Creator. From the names we derive the whole Torah and the strengths of the Torah. We do so by means of the 10 Sfirot. It's a different correlation. Or the names of the Creator, the shapes of the letters, and of course the gematria, numerical value. If one has come from Malchut to Chokhmah due to his correction, he experiences the 10 Sfirot, or the name Avaya. It's the name. It's the same. But if someone experiences only until Ze'ah, in a sense, or completely he experiences 7 Sfirot, then there's a shortage of perception of the whole name Avaya. This we can show and see in the letter He and Vav. Then someone experiences only the last He from the name Avaya and not the full name. The strength that is experienced here is Elohim. If someone experiences the full 10 Sfirot, this means there is no lack or shortage. This is the name Avaya. He experiences absolute perfection, wholeness, at whatever level. We do not have to work through all 125 steps. There are 5 worlds 5 times, 5 worlds times 5 partsofim times 5 sfirot equals 125 steps. You don't need to go through all 125 steps. When you experience 10 sfirot at the lowest level, asiyah, then you experience absolute wholeness of the creator of the name Avaya. And if you can't do that, for example, you can only come to Ze'ah or Bina, then it is Elohim. Why? When you see the name Elohim, you have to know directly that is the name of the creator in his severity. The creator is severe at that time. When I experience din, severity, that is Elohim. He's always Ein Sof. Actually, he is not even Avaya. We only call him Avaya when I experience him as wholeness, perfection. When I have the perfect experience. If I experience him as Elohim, this means at that moment I do not have perfection in what I experience. Then we call him Elohim, the severe God. This means I see with my inner eyes only the 7 of the 10 Sfirot. There are always 10 in any form of experiencing the spiritual, of wishes. We experience the names of Creator in our world as well, but not clearly. That is Elohim, and we will learn why. Ima comes from the Bina. Ze'ah receives from what is above him. Ze'ah has Bina above him. Bina is Ima, and Ele is the strength of 6 Sfirot of Ze'ah. And together they form the name Elohim. We will learn how that works. Bina, Ima, and Ze'ah, Ele, is the name that someone experiences when he experiences 7 Sfirot. Malchut plus 6 from Ze'ah. He experiences the name Elohim. Is that the name of the Creator? Yes, but in my experience, it is always my personal experience. When I come to another level, and I also come to another Ze'ah, for example, in the world of Bria, it is the same name Elohim. Of course, at another level, but also the name Elohim. Question from a student. Why do we sometimes write Hey Yud and sometimes, why do we sometimes write Hey Vav and sometimes Vav Hey? Everything has meaning. When the letter Vav comes first, then Ze'ah, which is male, dominates. We grow from the bottom up. First Hey and then Vav. When Hey comes first, it means in that combination the female dominates. The letter that comes first dominates. When Vav comes first, it has the same numerical value, but tells us it is under the umbrella of the male. We will learn the nuances, therefore I choose the system of the 5 of the divine names, the strengths. We will make calculations, we will start to feel the names. They will appear to you and you will sense more. That's why I'm against the drawings. You might want to hold on to them, and then I sin and also bring you to sin. Ima is the Bina, the letters Yud and Mem, and together they have a numerical value of 50. Mem is 40 and Yud is 10, and together they are 50. We can also reverse Ima, and then it says me, who. Eli means this. When I have shortage and I experience only 7 of the 10 Sfirot, then I experience the name Elohim. Then he is like a severe master, like the laws of nature that are incorruptible. Severity, that is the name Elohim. When I will translate the Torah and it says, in the beginning Elohim created the heaven and the earth, I will not translate Elohim with God like in the general Bible. What does this mean? What is the names? For instance, Elohim, Yahweh, or El. When I experience the Creator till Chesed, that is the name El. This is also in the names Mikael or Raphael. El is a name of the Creator in his quality of Chesed. For the full experience of the divine, 10 Sefirot, we have the name Avaya. When you experience 7 Sefirot, then you experience Elohim. But where are the other 3? You just don't see them. You don't see them with your inner eyes. 2 people can be together and one sees and the other doesn't. A child sees no Sfirah, sees no strength. If only experience Hey, the Malchut, then I experience the name of the Creator, Avaya, in his quality of Adni. So Adonai is another name of the Creator, to not use his name in vain. Adni means the manifestation of the only creative strength, Avaya in Malchut. He is everything, of course, and also in Malchut, in Ein Sof. Ein Sof is everything, but in perceptions of a Kli, in Malchut, the Creator manifests himself in his name of Adni. Therefore, I follow Ari, who does this as well. We use the 10 Sfirot, but in connection with the 4-letter name. Then I will do correction in every situation. When I feel I have all this in myself, then I have severity and mercy in myself, in balance. Of course, mercy has the upper hand, not because of weakness, but because I choose to do so, because that way I reach correspondence with the mercy of the name of the Creator. The merciful and almighty God, who has manifested himself that way to Moses in the 4-letter name. That is what Moses received, the Torah, the 26th generation. The Creator manifested himself as a merciful God. Before that, they were killers, and they had terrible lives with a lot of violence. We will learn what strengths there were and how they wasted their eternal energy. Does everybody understand why we learned this? Our intention has to be to make contact through the names of the Creator, or the Sfirot, in order to come closer to our fulfillment. This means to come to experiencing the eternal. That's the point. We don't learn for knowledge, but for the contact with the eternal. This is the way of Adi, and I learn with and from Adi. That's why I also explain the names of the eternal Creator and the 10 Sfirot, parallel to each other. The light enters, and then we see all these processes until the end. On the basis of drawings that I want to make, we will see the fall of Adam and how the worlds have fallen. We will come to 6,000 years of correction. We will see what all this means. We will continue to 7,000 years, 8,000 years, 9,000 years, and 10,000 years. And then we will see the purpose of the creation, the personal purpose of the creation and of all mankind. We will also go through the Sfirot. We will do both. But for us it is important, at the rising of our perceptions, which names we encounter. That, what gradations. You can't see that in the Sfirot. Some things are easier to explain on the basis of the Sfirot, but it is all the same. Ze'ah is always the letter Vav of the 4-letter name. Chochma is always the letter Yud. You should see these parallels always within yourself. These are 10 Sfirot, and Ze'ah is a group. Chochma, Bina, Ze'ah, and Malchut are 4 Sfirot. Everything consists of 4 plus the root, Keter. And now we take a closer look at the 10 Sfirot. Chochma, Bina, Ze'ah, and Malchut. But all of the Chochma, of the quality Chochma, what does that mean? We have said that there are Chochma, Bina, Ze'ah, and Malchut. Everything consists of those 4 plus the root Keter. Now we make further differentiations. There are Keter, Chochma, Bina, Ze'ah, and Malchut of Keter. All of the quality of Keter, because Keter has 5 as well. Everything has 5 Sfirot. Let's take a look. Keter de Chochma, and Chochma is Chochma de Chochma. Chochma has all 5 in itself as well. Bina de Chochma, Ze'ah de Chochma, and Malchut de Chochma. What does this mean? All are the qualities Chochma, but in relation to each other. They are higher and lower. Now the Bina also has 10 or 5 Sfirot. Keter de Bina, Chochma de Bina, Bina de Bina, Ze'ah de Bina, and Malchut de Bina. Again, all 5 Sfirot, core or fundamental Sfirot of the quality Bina. Ze'ah also has 5, and even Malchut has 5. Malchut has her own Keter. Keter de Malchut, Chochma de Malchut, Bina de Malchut, Ze'ah de Malchut, and Malchut de Malchut. But all are the quality of Malchut of the second Hey. So every Sphira has her own 10, and so on until infinity. We go further and take a look how it is qualitatively in those 10 or 5 Sfirot of Chochma. The 5 Sfirot of Chochma: Keter de Chochma, Chochma de Chochma, Bina de Chochma, Ze'ah de Chochma, Malchut de Chochma. Altogether they are called Partzuf Chochma. Partzuf means face, literally. But Partzuf Chochma means 10 or 5 Sfirot, the whole range of Sfirot of the sort of Chochma, of the light Chochma, that corresponds with the letter Yud. Keter has in itself no coarsening. There is no thickness of wish in the Keter. Therefore, there is no letter in the four-letter name of the Creator, because the Keter is no coarsening. The Keter is just the pure four letters. We add them together, and then we have the pure name Keter. In the strength Keter, everything is potentially present. This is shown in the four letters, the simple letters of Havaya. The letter Yud is the 10th letter of the alphabet and has numerical value 10. After that, everything consists of 10. Yud is the first strength manifested in the universe, the 10. That's why we see that everything consists of 10 sfirot, or 5, when we reduce them. Hey is 5, the 5th letter of the alphabet with numerical value 5. Vav is 6, and the second Hey is 5 as well. Added up, that is 26. 10 plus 5 plus 6 plus 5 equals 26. The letter Kaf equals 20, and the letter Vav equals 6. A pure four-letter name, the pure name of the Creator. This pure name of the four-letter name is without coarsening, without further coarsening, as it were, of the light. In the Keter, the strength has not yet been unfolded. The unfolding of strengths starts in Chokhmah. How is this shown? It has a filling of milui. Filling is called milui. The four letters are fully written out. When we fully write out the four-letter name, you get Yud. When we fully write out Yud, this means that it becomes coarsened, because first it is only pure light, the four-letter name. Now, Yud equals Yud Vav Dalet. That is 10 plus 6 plus 4 equals 20. Hey equals Hey and Yud, which is 5 plus 10 equals 15. And Vav equals Vav Yud Vav. 6 plus 10 plus 6 equals 22. And Hey equals Hey plus Yud. 5 plus 10 equals 15. The total of the sum is 72. This is expressed in the letters Ayin and Bet, and is abbreviated and pronounced as Ab. Do we see the Yud of Chokhmah everywhere? It is Partsuf de Chokhmah. Here the filling of Chokhmah dominates. Chokhmah is Yud. We will also show this with Yud. Partsuf Chokhmah means 5 sfirot of Chokhmah. Who is the leader? Chokhmah. All are from Chokhmah. All of the quality of Chokhmah. Chokhmah de Chokhmah, Bina de Chokhmah, Ze'ah de Chokhmah, and Malchut de Chokhmah. Everywhere we see Yud, 10 Chokhmah. Also in the filling. And when we add up, we have 72. And we call that Ayin and Bet, abbreviated to Ab. What is the use of this information? Everywhere where we are dealing with Partsuf Chokhmah, qualitatively, the 5 or 10 sfirot of Chokhmah, and it doesn't matter in which world, Bria, Yetzirah, Siyah, or Atzilut, is called Ab. That is also the name of the Creator after his quality of strength. Ab is a certain strength that we and everything that Partsuf of Chokhmah has is characterized by the strength called Ab. Ab is filled the name, the four-letter name. This slowly becomes the Kabbalah. It is not just faith. Where can we believe in? What is faith of man in this world? Childish, naive, primitive, poor. We will make differentiations and feel strengths in ourselves. It will come. You will feel it, but it takes time. Every Partsuf of Chokhmah is Ab. Slowly you will differentiate this in yourself. How does this help us? When we read Torah, every name in the Torah, even of every villain, all are names of the Creator. We will be able to make comparisons through the names, certain abbreviations, acronyms, the first or last letters of certain sentences, verses in the Torah. That is what God has taught Moses. All the techniques to learn about the strengths and qualities of the four-letter name in the Torah. Therefore, it is said that God hides himself in the Torah. What we're doing now is already revelation of the strength of the Partsuf Chokhmah in the name of the Creator. Yud has always his own 10 sferot, and they are of the strength of Ab, 72. In that way, when we encounter certain words or combinations, we can see which strength that is. Later we will see what the strength of Moses is. We will understand what Moses is without knowing his shoe size when he was walking in the desert. The strength of Moses, or Moshe, his real Hebrew name, is the strength of Mem, Shin, He. He is 5, Shin is 300, and Mem is 40. Makes a total of 345. We will see on the basis of such a calculation where this strength is and in which capacity. This is learning of the Creator, God. This is learning of God, and not all the preaching that was necessary in the initial period to awaken it a little bit, but it has to stop. It has to stop once. We have to start to learn how to deal with the Creator. We have to start to learn how to understand Him. Parzuf Chochmah is Ab. Soon you'll see what it's about. You don't need to learn to use words, but we can say Ab, and that is 72. Everywhere where you encounter Parzuf Chochmah is always Ab. Whether that is in the world Asiyah, Yetzirah, Bria, or Atzalut, all are the same, only the color is slightly different than Asiyah, a little lower, but still Ab. And now, Parzuf Binah. We always start with the four-letter name. Later we will see that there are also other things that exist, but now the four-letter name and the filling thereof in the Binah. We also have Keter of Binah, and this is again four-letter name and a total of 26. Now we will make the filling. The filling means it is already a strength, a wish strength, aviyut, or manifestation of that strength in the kelim. We write out the yud. He is also with the yud because Binah is closely connected to Chochmah. The difference is in the vav. Here comes the element of Binah, the letter Aleph. This is the difference with Parzuf Chochmah. There it was yud, but here it is Aleph. So we get yud equals yud vav dalet, which is 20. He is he and yud, which is 5 plus 10 equals 15. And there is a difference. Vav, Aleph, Vav. 6 plus 1 plus 6 equals 13. And then He, which is He and Yud. 5 plus 10 equals 15. The total of this sum is 63. 20 plus 15 plus 13 plus 15 equals 63. This is expressed in the letters Samech, 60, and Gimel, 3. Abbreviated to Sag. The A is just given it a tone. It involves only the letters Samech and Gimel, and pronounced as Sag. Everywhere where we encounter Parzuf Binah, this means 5 or 10 sferot, and is always Sag. Later it will be easier when we talk in the Kabbalah of Sag, of the Binah, or any other world. Then we understand that is Binah. We need less words, and the quality will be high. That is Sag. A characteristic of Binah is Sag. Parzuf Binah is always 63, and of course all of the Binah, Keter de Binah, Chochmah de Binah, etc., have the color of Sag, 63. This is how we will study Kabbalah. We don't use all kinds of schedules that are interesting for the intellect. From here we derive all our strengths. If someone does not do this, it is no Kabbalah. Of course, New Age is much more fun, and this might seem boring to you. The meaning of the numbers are strengths. You don't feel that you don't feel that yet, but it will come. You need to have patience, step by step. We give dimensions to the strengths of Avaya, the eternal creating strength, and we also measure, because when it is not measurable, what is it? What is the New Testament about? God and Lord, that's it. Who is God and who is Lord? Nobody understands. Ask someone, God, what is He? They don't know. Even the Jewish Bible, God and Lord. But what is God and what is Lord? Sometimes people say Lord, God, and that's all a Christian needs to know. More is not important to them, but that was till now. Nowadays there are more Christians, Jews or Muslims. Of course they still exist, but In our time, we are the first generation to learn to understand the divine, the eternal from the divine self, altogether and regardless our origins, and not man-made stories. What they made of it. They do penance, and we altogether still do penance for their mistakes. Of course, people weren't mature enough yet because we had to learn everything first. We're the generation of the same people who were wrong in all the other generations. They were primitives. I say they, and with they I mean their embodiment in bodies, but of course that are our souls. We are stuck with that due to the mistakes, stupidities, and barbaric way of life of our ancestors and even our parents. Regarding us, our parents are barbarians. You don't know this yet, of course. You always have to honor your parents. Why? Just like we honor Chochmah and Bina, we have to honor our parents. But regarding every generation, the children have much more potential in themselves than their parents. Numbers are important, not in itself, but they represent the strengths of the names in the Torah of the Creator who hides in the Torah. Nobody can find God outside the Torah, because there it says only God or Lord. What can you learn of God and Lord? That is moral, and of course mankind needed this for 2,000 years, and it did a lot of good to man, but as we can see, it doesn't work. In our time, no Lord can help you correct the place of Yesod if you don't correct yourself. And someone that says Lord is no Lord from Yesod downwards, from Yesod upwards he can be Lord, but downwards he's not, we will discover and follow the names of the only creating strength, step by step. Later, even bigger and more interesting things will come. We will look at Torah, and we will feel all these units. We will understand what Torah is. Who understands what Torah is? In Amsterdam, there are more rabbis than there are plumbers. There are so many, but none of them is interested in Kabbalah, because what do you gain? Everybody's busy with life here because that is interesting. But without the Kabbalah, all misery comes in our world because no one understands what God wants, what He wants. We say God. What is in the word God? Nothing, absolutely nothing. What is the word Lord? Nothing. Who? What is Lord? The name Avaya gives all the nuances of that strength. How they function in the universe and how you come from the prescriptions of the Torah and from the Torah to awe and from awe to love. Where do you get that? In which religion, including the Jewish? They look at the Torah plainly. Moses does this and that, and they study that. Is good as well, but that is what they study day and night instead of the Creator Himself. And these laws, not a word is about our world. It tells of animals, oxen, but means our strength. It means strength. How man is an ox and comes to hay. Further, you go and you come to the divine. They learn about donkeys. I talk about groups of people who believe they do great things for a higher cause. It is a great sin the way they do this. They are like children. All the religions are the same. They are no better. All childish. What is Lord to them? Give me bread. We have to grow up. Do we want to play act or make efforts for real life? Do we want the sham or true life? And now, Partzuf Ze'ah. Ze'ah also has also the four-letter name, also in Keter, only 26 because there is no change in the Keter. Here again, the filling of Yud is 20. The change is in the Hey. First we said Hey plus Yud, which is equal 5 plus 10 equals 15. Now we have Aleph instead of the Yud, and it is 5 plus 1, which equals 6. The filling of Ze'ah is with Aleph. In the Sag of the Bina, we have 3 Yuds and 1 Aleph. Now we have 1 Yud and 3 Alephs. The filling of the Vav is the same as in Partzuf Bina because Ze'ah comes from Bina. And the last Hey is also with Aleph. We see the differences. What comes later, or why comes later. Yud equals Yud, Vav, Dalet. Again, 20. The changes in Hey. Hey equals Hey Aleph, which is 5 plus 1 equals 6. And Vav equals Vav, Aleph, Vav. 6 plus 1 plus 6 equals 13. And Hey equals Hey Aleph again. 5 plus 1 equals 6. And the total sum is 45. This is expressed in the letters Mem and Hey, abbreviated to Ma. Everywhere we find Partzuf Ze'ah, 5 or 10 sfirot, it has the strength of Ma. Now we look at Partzuf Malchut. Keter stays the same, just like in the previous calculations. There's no change in the Keter. Yud also stays the same and is 20. Now comes the change. The Hey is filled with Hey, becomes a double Hey. So Hey plus Hey is 5 plus 5 equals 10. And the Vav becomes a double Vav. So Vav plus Vav is 6 plus 6 equals 12. And then again a double Hey, which is 5 plus 5 again equals 10. What do we see here? It is actually a double Avaya, because Yud equals 10, but filled it is 20. And that is like 2 Yuds. So we have Yud equals Yud Vav Dalet, which is 20. Hey equals Hey plus Hey, which is 5 plus 5 equals 10. Vav equals Vav plus Vav, 6 plus 6 equals 12. And Hey equals Hey plus Hey, is 5 plus 5 equals 10. The total of this sum is 52. This is expressed in the letters Nun and Bet, abbreviated to Bon. The O is just to give it a tone. It involves only the letters Bet and Nun. 52 is 2 times 26. Partzuf Malchut is always Bon, Nun and Bet. But in the Kabbalah we use Bet and Nun, and this is no coincidence. We learn what it is. Bon is Ben and means son. Learn all this without asking yourself why or how. You need to have the intention to come closer to Avaya than in the previous 2,000 years, or 3,500 years of the Jewish era of religions. Just be learning this. You can come much closer to the eternal creating strength. So shortly summarized, we have 4 Partzufim. 72 is Ab, is the shape of Chochmah and the light of Chaya. 63 is Sag, is the shape of Bina and the light of Neshama. 45 is Ma, is the shape of Ze'ah and the light of Ruach. And 52 is Bon, is the shape of Malchut and the light of Nefesh. You need to learn this and know. Understand these are all strengths of the 4-letter name of Avaya. Please refer to the drawing 24.1, where it discusses the Milui and Milui of Avaya in more detail, and gives you the 4-letter name, and gives you the calculations.